My name is Jimmy Gale Watson.
Willis Strauss,
Shannon Scaff,
Master Sergeant E7 in the Air Force,
Lieutenant Commander, retired,
I served in the United States Marine Corps
United States Coast Guard,
Air Force Pararescueman or PJ,
and the Navy SEALs.
Lieutenant Commander, retired.
medically retired.
Retired after 16 and a half years in the service.
I just felt like I had finally found what I was looking for all through my teenage years, and trying to find purpose.
I was like on the top of the world. I was at the apex of my SEAL career.
Yeah, it was just amazing to see the expressions on people's face when you show up when they think no one else is coming.
I was hit with a lot of big search and rescue cases, lots of great missions that I was able to bring people back home to their families, but too many where I wasn't able to.
My first multi-systems casualty was a little girl who got blown up by a bomb because she was chasing her ball in the wrong part of town.
My air crew was tasked with looking for an overdue small sailing vessel with a family of 4 on board.
I grabbed my buddy one time. I was grabbing him and pointing at a car to halt, to stop, to just watch. Instead, he just spiderwebbed the window with his machine gun.
This was actually our 3rd time to the same spot because these guys they kept getting pinned down, and
very suddenly a radio transmission came across to our helicopter to go to a specific location.
there was a booby trap. There's mines everywhere. While we were actually getting this other patient out, someone else near us actually blew up.
And so I jumped from the aircraft and swam up to the vessel.
And I'll never forget when we drove past, everything in my body said don't look in the vehicle, but I had to. I had to look, and this lady, I'll never forget those. You don't get those screams out of your head.
The 2 people that were face down were unfortunately a 9-year-old girl and her mother.
I saw the mom pulling her hair out, and I was indirectly responsible of him killing these 2 kids.
It hurts. There's no explanation. It just hurts. And you bear that. And then it happens to your brothers, and then it happens to your sisters, and it happens to everyone.
And there's a whole host of missions that I've had over the course of my career that stuck with me.
Even at bars, people would say, Jimmy, how have you done all that stuff and you're not messed up by it? But the whole time I have 15 shots of Jack, lined up.
It just keeps building up inside, and you just keep bottling it up inside because no one teaches you how to deal with it.
I had been trapped in a vehicle for 4 hours with three bodies, holding one guy's head, and then it crumbled like an egg, smelling diesel like you're going to combust. I had seen guys burn alive.
Those sorts of visuals will stay with you, and in many cases they will haunt you.
The medical personnel basically telling me I was no longer qualified to do my job.
And I really didn't understand what was happening, but I was being eaten alive, by this pain.
It all bottled up, and after being told I was no longer qualified, then I tried to take my own life.
I was at the end of my rope, literally. I hung myself in a mental hospital, in a mental ward.
And that's where I was before I came to the drop zone.
When I showed up at the drop zone, I was done. I was dead man walking. I had given up on life.
I was dead. There was no life left in me. I had a new plan that was going to be very successful next time.
I remember parking the car and walking up to the cabin. It was a beautiful place.
But when I get there, I think that I'm going to be able to hide out and just be the gray man. I realize that it's just me and 3 or 4 other guys. And I started getting nervous.
And as I'm walking up to them, I'm like, oh God, these guys are studs, right? Special operations dudes,
And they were so happy. And I was just like, oh great, another program. Because I've been to these programs. I had the gallon-sized baggie of medications that everyone wants to give to me.
And I'll never forget, Paul said, you know, we just want you guys to crack your heart open just this much and trust a little bit. I said, I don't mean to disrespect you guys, but that's pretty bold. 100% change here, that we're going to have a turnaround here, that we're going to find ourselves here and Jesus is going to talk to us.
I mean, I had some anxiety about it, and I looked around the room and I can see in their faces, they're feeling the same thing. Like, who are these guys and what am I doing here?
And I was so broken down. My shoulder hurt so bad. It felt like a knife was sticking in my shoulder and my 2 fingers were numb. I thought, God, I said, how can I even be restored in my heart? Like they're talking, like this guy Paul's talking. If my shoulder, my arm is in so much pain that I can't even focus on that, even if it did happen. So I said, Jesus, I don't hear from you ever. I feel like my life is over. And my life was over.
And a lot of my hatred that I had was for God. And we had to break a lot of things off. And as soon as they did, you know, Jesus just embraced me in that moment.
We met in prayer. We spoke with Jesus together. Jesus was able to, communicate to both Paul and I about some of the things that have been heavy on my heart for years.
On the 3rd day, they said, Jimmy, are you ready to be changed? And I said, man, are you guys serious, And so I went into my group session with Jordan and Daniel. And then Jordan said, and your shoulder hurts real bad, right? Your left shoulder? I said, yeah. And he reached over and he prayed and it was healed like this.
I was shown that those 2 individuals that I had carried with me and what happened to them for all those years, that those 2 folks weren't suffering anymore. And in fact, in the moments of their passing, Jesus was with them as well.
Every chain, burden, pain, everything just fell to the ground. And Jesus just took everything with open arms and still embraced me in it and just took everything.
It's amazing what my eyes have been opened up to, and it's been there the whole time. I just needed to look at it.
My heart was forever changed. Operation Restore Warrior did for me in 3 days what no doctor, no psychiatrist, no person, place, or thing, no title, what nobody else in this world, no amount of money in the world could do for me, they were able to do through the power of Jesus Christ of Nazareth.